Commissioner Kenlock,
Present.
Commissioner Hattis,
Present.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Here.
Commissioner Palomero.
Here.
Chairman Ricky,
Here.
you have a quorum present.
Okay, thank you. Next item.
B, Chairwoman's remarks.
I have none. Next item.
C, approval of the May 14th, 2024 meeting minutes.
So moved.
Okay, we have an approval and support. Any questions, changes? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay. Item passes. Next item.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Okay, next item.
Item 1, under new business, forwarding the April 2024 report of all complaint calls made to 1888 road crew.
Any questions on this? We'll take all of these together and do a vote at the end. Next item.
Item 2, forwarding notification of an emergency procurement report for a contract with Rollins, Inc., DBA Orkin LLC for pest control services to remove mice from the prosecutor's office at the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice.
I'm surprised it was only $250. Any questions? Oh, sure, if you want to.
Must have been skin mice.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
So it was a little mice problem there.
Yes, there was an issue. We were between contracts and we wanted to make sure that we took care of that issue. So we did an emergency contract to rectify that situation with the pest.
Okay, is it rectified?
It is, and we do have a contract on that's currently on file and everything's good to go moving forward.
Okay, now, are we seeing the new contract?
Everything's already been approved. So we had a temporary contract while we were pursuing a more long-term contract. We already have a PO. Everything's already gone through the approval process.
All right, thank you. Any questions on the mice? Okay, thank you. You're not up for the next one, are you?
I'm up for the next.
You are, okay, Madam Clerk, number 3.
Item 3, requesting commission approval of an addendum to a cooperative agreement with Johnson Controls to rent a 400-ton chiller to provide air conditioning for the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice.
Right, go ahead.
Okay, so that is for the air conditioner for Frank Murphy. We rent an external unit for that until we close that building. So we had to get that online for this summer. And this is, we use Johnson Controls, and this is just the contract for that unit.
And this should be the last time, right?
This should be it.
Okay, sounds good. Any questions? All right, thank you. Are you on 4 as well?
4 and 5.
4 and 5, and anybody else that wants to come up, please feel free. Madam Clerk?
Item 4, requesting commission approval of Amendment 3 to a lease agreement with 400 Monroe Associates, extending the lease for the Sheriff's Office Administrative Office at 4747 Wilbur Avenue in Detroit by 6 months.
Okay.
Okay, so this is to keep that. So this is not an actual amendment to the lease. This is for us to be able to utilize the holdover that's within the current lease agreement. So this is requesting permission for expenditures against that lease agreement for month-to-month services as we are still inhabiting that building.
Okay. Greg, did you introduce yourself? Can you start that?
Actually, I did. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Greg Hurst, Director of Facilities Management
Just
and Planning. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so there's an extension in the lease. Any other comments?
Good morning, Jim Jernigan, Assistant Corporation Counsel. No, that's pretty much it. This is just as Director Hurst said, this is an extension of the current lease with no changes. We will be coming back with an amendment number 2 quickly so that we can extend them through the end of September, but that's not what this is.
But the next one will be an amendment?
Yes.
Question.
Yes.
Okay, so you just a quick question. You knew you were coming today. Why didn't you have the extension, or are you able to modify it and get the authorization now since you already know that you want to extend it to September?
Well, I think through the chair, if I may, I think that the holdover provision was in process at the time we decided that we wanted to do a second amendment that'll carry us through September. And honestly, I think it was just a matter of wanting to keep things in order. So I imagine we'll be back again fairly quickly with that second amendment.
Okay.
And then that'll be the last amendment.
knock
Yeah.
on wood, that should be it. Absolutely. No, that would be the last one.
The date is what, September 13th? To go into the CJC?
I believe,
I think, I'm just saying this.
yeah, so I know right now the goal is to have everyone in there by September 30th. And that was the reason to have this into September 30th.
All right. All right, thank you. Any questions before? Oh, and you're on here for number 5 as well.
Yes, correct.
Okay, Madam Clerk?
Item 5, requesting commission approval of modification 3 to a lease agreement with Triple Properties Detroit LLC to continue to lease 155,487 square feet in the Penobscot Building, 645 Griswold Street in Detroit, for the Third Judicial Circuit of Michigan, Friend of the Court Division.
So this is a renewal for, as you see, 4 years. We did negotiate the options for an additional 6 if necessary. But today we're going just for the initial 4-year block.
So is there any future for this whole group? I mean, is the plan to just stay in the, unless we get like a civil campus or something to add more stuff, since we don't have storage at the criminal one?
So, well, what I can say today is there is the opportunity for a feasibility study to date to look at what a potential, what we dubbed, I guess, C3 could look like. What we wanted to do was to ensure that we had enough time, even if that were to come to fruition, we would still be looking at a minimum of 4 years or more to be in a building, even if we were to move forward with, building an additional building for the county.
Go ahead.
Want to reiterate the conversations I've consistently been having. We should own a building with that $13 million right there. We should. And we've been talking, at least because I've been raising that point even before you came, about us actually getting out of all of these leases. And we still haven't completed the feasibility study. I know we just created your department, last year, but what I'm saying is, what is a realistic timeline? And I think that this committee, we should have, regular updates as relates to the progress of that particular issue. Yeah.
Sure. So to the chair, to the chair and Commissioner Kinlock, appreciate the question. And that is one of the reasons why the lease is negotiated as is.
Right.
We know one of the things that the county executive is looking is at the ground floor of exploring is the C3 complex, which would be the civil court. We look at where the CJC is and the timeline it took to develop, pre-construction, design, even get that footing to create this building. We would be within, and this lease agreement will give us the proper time framing to prepare,
Okay.
whether it's moving into a different facility or the county, as you said, potentially built a new one. After the 4 years, with the year to year, that gives us the opportunity to take a look at that and make that decision. If we're in a position to move, then we have positioned ourselves to do so after that 4-year block.
Yeah, when I say the $13 million, this is of course depending upon the size and all of that that's involved in either owning, constructing, or whatever. It's just a good start. A large number, there's a good start for us to begin to move towards, our own ownership. A large amount of money, I should say. Thank you.
And so they're calling it the C3?
That's just
What's the 3?
So it's, what's it, civil court complex or?
Oh, like 3 Cs?
Right,
Okay,
that's it.
got
So
it.
that's just the loose term that goes around.
Okay, the lingo.
Yes.
Okay. Any more questions?
Just had a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
On that point, for the term of the lease, is it possible to put in such a language like an escape clause or early termination in the event we find the property that's suitable for the county? Is that something that could be considered or looked at, or they wouldn't sign a lease like that?
Yeah, through the chair, Jim Jernigan, Assistant Corporation Counsel. Yeah, we're locked in for 4 years.
Okay.
Because as a realistic matter, it's going to be 3 to 4 years before, we have some sort of final determination. But again, we do have that series of options after the 4 years that buys us some flexibility and the department felt like that was the most appropriate thing we could do at this point.
Okay, thank you.
And it looks like from our information, that building hasn't had any problems like it did in the past.
No, I mean, in fact, we have monthly meetings with Third Circuit Court, with their representatives and their leadership group. And again, knock on wood again, they have not raised any issues with Penobscot in quite a while. So
Okay,
Correct.
good. All right, well, thank you.
very well.
Absolutely.
Hey, Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 6, requesting commission approval of a 3-year professional services contract with the 1-year option to renew with SQS Inc., DBA Environmental Recycling Group for the collection and disposal of household hazardous waste and electronic waste at various locations throughout the county.
Someone here on this? Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Elizabeth Barrera. I'm the Assistant Division Director for Environmental Services Division in Department of Public Services.
Okay, so this is going to be the typical year-round.
Correct. Yeah,
and
the
the-
household hazardous waste events, and then the application for people to get free vouchers. If they
Yep.
can't make it to the event, they can fill out a voucher. It's free to have their items picked up.
So let me just ask you about the voucher system. If somebody's ready with all their stuff to take, they have to go down and get the voucher, then bring their stuff, or
The voucher's available online.
the voucher's online? Anywhere else they can get it besides online?
No, I believe they could call the Environmental Services Division and get a copy that way too.
Okay, but they can get it online and then just take their stuff in.
Correct.
All right. Because at first it seemed like it was a double process, but this works great.
Yes,
All right, any questions on this? Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Next item.
Item 7, requesting commission approval of Amendment 4 to a 1-year purchase order with the 1-year option to renew with Cadillac Asphalt LLC for the purchase and delivery of hot mix asphalt to various job sites.
Okay, someone on this?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
EPA Division Director of Wayne County Roads,
Thank
Department of
you
Public Services.
for being here. On this item, I had a question to start with. It's indicating, and I've also heard this through the grapevine, that the county was only planning on doing 50 additional road miles this year. And I'm wondering, we were going on such a great track. Last year it was what,
180,
180. The year before that was 100.
150,
Year before that it was 65.
right, it was like
So-
75, yeah.
So I've been wondering why we're going backwards on the number of lane miles.
So originally, Commissioner, if I may, this amendment for the 2.5 million originally was set up and designed for 50 lane miles. Because we were also considering doing other projects, which was going to take more time from the crew. So however, with this request, we're planning to do anywhere from 50 to 90, possibly 100 lane miles this year. We have some requests from MDOT to do at least 7, 8 projects for ramps, which were already currently just started here the other day. So again, this is to cover at least 50 to 90, maybe 100. It all depends how much requests we get. And
Okay,
so far, we've been getting a lot of requests.
yeah. Well, oh, good. So someone's lightened up on the 50 miles.
Yes, ma'am.
It's gonna go up. Okay, great. That's great news. So we hired a company that is doing, I know Wayne County's doing part of this, but we also hired a company that's doing ditching as well, right?
Correct.
So is that working out? Is that getting done, having the additional company help out?
It's unfortunate to say, the company is not performing like we like. So it's being looked at and evaluated, and, we will let you know, where this is leading to.
Okay. It's prime time. Well, good. This is better news than I thought. Any questions on this? We have such a short time period, right, to get this all done
Yes,
in
ma'am.
Michigan? Okay.
And, we
okay.
will do that, you know.
Oh, no,
whether
I know you
without-
will.
With or
Yeah.
without the contractor, it will be done.
Oh, you mean the ditching and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I know you will. It's just, Too bad Michigan wasn't like Florida. We could do it all year round.
I got it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next item.
Item 8, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a 3-year contract with Orchard Hilton McClement, DBA OHM Advisors, to incorporate the Michigan Department of Transportation required terms and continue to provide as-needed professional engineering services on a project-to-project basis.
Okay, this is no change in the dollar amount. It's just extending the contract in case there's more engineering services needed. Any questions on this? Next item.
Item 9, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a 3-year contract with Wade Trim Associates to incorporate the Michigan Department of Transportation required terms and continue to provide as-needed professional engineering services on a project-to-project basis.
Okay, this is just like the previous item, but with Wade Trim Associates. No change in the dollar amount, just an extension of the contract. Questions? Next item.
Item 10, requesting commission approval of a contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation for road improvements along Eureka Road from 4th Street to Biddle Avenue in the city of Wyandotte.
Okay, this is good news for Wyandotte. Questions on this? All right, next item.
Item 11, requesting commission approval of an addendum to a cooperative agreement with Michigan Playgrounds LLC, DBA Mid-States Recreation for the replacement of a play structure at Sumac Recreation Area in Hines Park in the city of Livonia.
Okay. I know the Director of Parks is here. And you have like the next zillion items.
Good
Morning.
morning, Madam Chair, Alicia Bradford, DPS Parks Division Director. This agreement is again for a modification to a cooperative agreement. We will be installing a new play structure at Sumac Point, as well as the safety surfacing. And it also allows us some additional funding for mulch replacement and parts for other structures that we inspect and replace during the season.
Okay, great. So as soon as this is approved, are they going to be able to do the structure for this season?
Madam Chair, as soon as it's approved and by full board, and once we get the executed agreement, we'll be able to do the blanket and hopefully they will be able to put it in by August, September. So we should have it before the weather breaks, but definitely a new one by spring next
Is
year.
the current structure down?
No, the current structure is still usable. It's just that it's at a time that we, during our condition and recycling and inspection, we look at those structures and see what could be replaced. So we have a plan in order to do that. So this is the one that is on our list for replacement.
Okay,
So it is still usable. Those areas have been inspected. Those that were unsafe have been removed or rectified. But we wanted just to replace it with a new structure for this year.
okay, great. Any questions on this? All right, next item, and you're here for the next item, Madam Clerk.
Item 12, requesting commission approval of a comparable source contract with Bronner Display and Sign Advertising, Inc. to provide Life Fest displays for the Department of Public Services Parks Division.
Okay, this is some new displays for the Light Fest.
Correct, Madam Chair. So of course, we know Life Fest is 30+ years. Some of the structures we do have been around just about that long. They're beginning to be unsafe, also with upgrades of LED lighting, and efficiency. So we try to make it, better on our team that installs all of the Light Fest structures for Hines Park. So we just do a rotation out of replacing, and we also are trying to expand and do some small Light Fest displays at Elizabeth Park as well.
Oh, nice. That'll be the first time for Elizabeth Park?
No, ma'am.
Oh.
We've done it before,
Okay.
prior to the pandemic. We did back in 2019, but we're hoping to get back to do it again. Not as expansive as Hines, but putting some elements. And I know that the residents down in Trenton enjoyed it when we did it at that one.
Sure. Okay, great. Any questions on this? Okay, thank you. You don't have to, the rest of it's going to be pretty,
Straightforward. Okay, thank you.
yeah,
All
thank
right.
you. Madam Clerk, yeah, just start reading them.
Item 13, requesting commission approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Wayne for improvements to Forest Park.
Okay, any questions on this? Next item? Oh, okay. You will be. Next item?
Item 14, requesting commission approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Township of Northville for improvements to Millennium and Legacy Parks.
Questions? Next item?
Item 15, requesting commission approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Melvindale for improvements to Langford Park.
Questions? Next item?
Item 16, requesting commission approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Lincoln Park for improvements to Community Center Park.
Questions? Next item?
Item 17, requesting commission approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Township of Brownstown for improvements to Culpeper and Capitol Parks.
Questions? And last item?
Item 18, requesting commission approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the city of Dearborn for improvements to Fort Woods, Leathergood, and Ford Field Parks.
Commissioner Baydun, questions? Okay. Yeah, good news. It's all good news. Okay. We have an approval and support. Can anybody vote on this? Mhm.
Item 1, receive and file.
I don't know if, okay, can vote.
Okay.
Hit that, yeah. Okay,
Motion carried.
all right, thank you. Next item?
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
I've heard of none. Next item?
G, public comments.
Anybody here in the room that would like to address the Committee on Public Services? Do we have any emails, Madam Clerk?
No emails were received.
Okay, how about on Zoom or any hands up?
No hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, and if anybody, could you unmute if anybody wants to address us on the telephone?
Hello, I would like to speak.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Tila Morey. I'm a Dearborn resident. I've been trying to get a hold of someone from Public Works for well over a month at this point in time. I've been calling the phone number that's listed. I've been emailing the email that's listed. And I'm just trying to get a contact for someone who will actually return my call or return my email.
Okay, normally we don't go back and forth with people on in public audience communication, but what department are you trying to get a hold of?
So public services specifically, I'm trying to learn more about how Wayne County does its road design systems.
Okay, your Commissioner Baydun is here at this meeting.
Yes.
Good morning. If you would like to give me your phone number, I'll call you after the meeting.
Okay. Yeah. It's are you ready for it?
Yes.
It's 832-474-9781.
Okay, I'll call you after the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on the phone? Okay, next item.
Adjournment.
Adjournment.